Welcome to the Inflow Podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Bosch. Super excited to be with you today with my special guest, Mrs. Jasmine Oliver. And you're going to hear about this amazing woman in a second. But let me introduce her to you first, and then you'll get to know about Jasmine.
Welcome to the Inflow Podcast. I am your host, Michelle Bosch. I see a gaping hole across society that focuses on the outer work and forgets about the inner work, when what we really need is to bridge the gap between prosperity and spirituality to live a life in flow, with inflows of light, inflows of cash, inflows of creativity, inflows of grace in our lives. Each week, join me for powerful messages and interviews that will leave you inspired and ready to step into flow in your higher work. So now, let's go.
Welcome, I'm Michelle Bosch. I am super excited to be here with you today, and I am bringing to you an amazing woman. Her name is Jasmine Oliver, and welcome, Jasmine. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me, Michelle.
Thank you, Jasmine, for being here with me today. I am super excited, to just shout out to the world and share you with the rest of the world. You know what I mean? And the amazing things that you're doing in the land space. Just for everyone, listening and watching right now, Jasmine is a college graduate. She has a bachelor's in psychology. She is a primary school teacher, and she has a family. She has 3 kids. She's a primary breadwinner. She's originally from Anchorage, Alaska. She lives now in North Carolina and Charlotte. She loves to travel. When I was reading this about her in her bio, that she's, been to Spain, France, I'm like, oh yeah, she's got the travel bag for sure. And she somehow, decided that she wanted to do something different, that she was getting the fulfillment of being a teacher, but that she wanted to do something else. And she started looking into I guess you got curious. Yeah, can you tell us a little bit, Jasmine, as to how do you make that pivot from being a teacher and doing that full time to deciding, okay, where does the itch start? And
Sure.
And you begin to look for something in real estate, or was real estate even the very first thing that you looked at? Maybe it was something else.
Sure. So my father is actually an entrepreneur, and growing up in Anchorage, seeing him work hard, he taught us kids. He taught us to be strong. He taught us to live with integrity, be outstanding citizens, and contribute. So when I went to college, it was his desire for me to go to college, to have opportunities. I wasn't sure that I was going to go and pursue teaching, but that's what I ended up pursuing. So with my bachelor's, I started in psychology, and then I went to graduate school, and I went and got my certification as a teacher. So my dad always taught us to be like entrepreneurial, just think outside the box, try different things. And so I was open to a lot of things. And I mean, I love being a public school teacher. It's wonderful. I love giving back. I was just thinking, well, I do have, financial goals and dreams and things, and I want to be able to travel more and just, do other things. And so I started listening to podcasts, reading books, and that's how I started in real estate. But it just seemed, just like a wonderful path. I mean, there are so many different parts to real estate, different asset classes. And so, I looked at it and I just researched. And so that's how I got into real estate. But yeah, my dad is an entrepreneur, and he taught us to be strong, to always pursue opportunities. And so once I was teaching, I was thinking, okay, well, what are the other opportunities, And so I was like, well, I could probably start a business. There's different business owners in my family. And so that's how I got into real estate.
That is fantastic. May I ask what business was your father in?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So he did a lot of different things. At first, he ran a snowplow company up in Alaska.
Oh, okay.
Then, yeah, then he wrote books and sold books.
Uh-huh.
And now he has his own carpet cleaning company. So
Oh,
actually, real estate, and cleaning, especially if it's like an Airbnb, I mean, that works perfect. So.
that is a fantastic. I mean, yeah. Yeah, we had a gentleman once that, he joined our coaching program, but he was doing, he had a snow plowing company as well
Sure.
out in Maine. And he's like, yeah, Michelle, I'm not doing that anymore. I'd rather flip the land instead of plowing the land, plowing the snow on the land. So it makes sense. Yeah. That is wonderful. So now I'm excited to have you, Jasmine, because you said, I was getting educated. I was going out there and exploring. You are right. There's a ton of strategies out there. It's about figuring out what really resonates with you, what is strategic, what's scalable. And for me, I always think, the key to prosperity is simplicity, and how can you do it and get, with the amount of effort and energy and time that you're putting into, what can you go into that gives you the biggest output, in terms of results and so on and so forth. So I'm glad that you came into the land space. I have here in my notes that we have actually met in person.
Yeah.
And we used to have 2 to 3 in-person events a year, obviously because of the pandemic, those are not happening. But and I do meet a lot of people, and I think we met already back in 2019, yeah, in Tampa.
Yes.
So in person, and so since then you decided, okay, I'm going to go all in on this, and you go out there, send out about 1,100 letters around Christmas time, and then what happens?
Yeah, so after that, I mean, the course really laid it all out. I mean, really, it just was plain and simple. Go to this link, click here, do this. So once we put in our order with the mailing service, it took, I guess, because it was around the holiday, it probably took about 3 weeks for the calls to come in, but the calls definitely did come in. And so, I had to analyze a bunch of deals. And then send out an offer, and a lot of them were accepted. So yeah, it got very busy, but I loved every moment of it. I love talking on the phone and everything, and so they were motivated. Most of them had inherited it, and they didn't realize that they could possibly sell it for that much, but I always give fair offers, and I was very personable. They could either go on our website or call us directly, and of course I would call them back or email them. So the system that you all put in place with the Land Profit Generator is just, it's phenomenal. It really is everything that you need. And so yeah, the mailing house sent out the letters, the calls came in, or the inquiries came in through the website, and let's see, I probably had about 24 hours. I always try to get offers out within 24 hours, because I want to let them know that I'm serious and that their time is valuable. So I was very busy for a couple of months.
I can imagine, because with 1,100 letters, and depending on the county that you send, your direct mail piece to, how do you remember? Do you have an estimate of like how many callbacks you had?
So let's see. I believe we probably had about 100. Because it was a lot. Yeah. And then the calls was probably about 100.
Jasmine.
So yes, our Freedom Voice was very full, and then the people that went onto the website, it was probably about 50. So
okay, wow. So 150 approximately, so maybe 150 offers, because if you follow the program, as we say, you make an offer on everyone that calls you, regardless of what they say on the phone. unless of course they say, please do not, take me off from your list, then, then that's that, but other than that, everyone gets an offer, and it is very typical that if you've chosen the right, the right counties, that are right areas, that you see such an influx, which is something that is not common, in the housing wholesaling world, because it's a little bit much more competitive than it is in the land space. Everyone, that thinks about real estate, when the very first thing that they think of is a house, and they don't think about land. And but are there other land flippers? Of course, there's areas, in the country where there may be maybe 2 or 3 land flippers, working, a specific area, and so on and so forth. But if we compare that to the housing world, where you have hundreds and hundreds of people competing in the same market, it's pretty much, you will have the volume, that is not comparable to the 150 that of callbacks that you got. And so your first deal, tell us about, break down that first deal, because I always say that our first deal, really, you're learning, you all of a sudden you committed to sending out these letters, to working this program. Yes. And you have to muster the courage, because now, oh my God, people are calling and they want offers. Yeah. And you might not have all the details, because you haven't gone through the full process of a deal. So tell us about that first deal. I know that it was a deal that netted $28,000 or $29,000, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And break that deal. Do you remember it still?
Yes,
because I know you've done many more after that.
Yeah, it was very exciting. Yes, because it was our first deal. So this particular family, they had received our letter, and they were thinking about it, because there were actually 3 families that were signed onto it, so 6 people. And we sent them to the one that really, I guess, like, paid the taxes and took care of the land, things like that. They probably all lived anywhere from like 2 hours to 8 hours away from the land parcel. And actually, it was actually like 3 land parcels together. But we were making an offer like on the middle one. That was the biggest one. And so they had received our letter, and they thought about it for a little bit. And they did put an inquiry through the website, and they also called us. And I think I was probably busy just analyzing deals and trying to, get everybody a call back and everything. Because she got a little bit impatient and reached out on social media. She's like, I'm looking for Jasmine. I'm looking for Jasmine. I was like, okay. Yes, I'm here. So as soon as she got on social media, I was like, yes, I'm here. So we got on the phone, and she's like, oh my gosh, so, I forgot about that land piece, but you're offering me this amount. And I was like, yes, I want to buy your land. And she's like, okay, excellent. I'm signing right now. So she said, she put it in the mail, and, we received it. After we received it, we put a sign out on the parcel. Yeah. And
signs really work well. And if you're, when you're far away, I don't know how far away you are from the piece of land, but I mean, if you didn't put it yourself though, personally, you can hire someone to go do it and put a for sale by owner sign for sure.
Yeah, we're actually about 30 minutes away. So we went out there. Yeah, we took some pictures. We put a sign on, and let's see, about 5 days later, calls were coming in, and the person was very adamant that he wanted to buy it because it was his neighborhood. And so, we were like, okay, well, this is what we're selling it for. And the rest was history.
Okay, so now you need to let us know, how many deals have you had today? Approximately?
33.
33. And profits to date, approximately?
So they're more than 400K.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic. And as I was telling you, before we jumped here on the recording, I was discussing with Jasmine that, we as a company are trying to assess our impact. And of course, the impact is beyond money, that we have had in families, across the globe. But dollars is one way to measure it, and in between trying to gauge, people that have gone through our maximizer workshops, which is our 2.5-day boot camps, or our coaching program, our 12-month coaching program, trying to assess like where are we at. And we thought, okay, we're probably very close, if not above, like $100 million impact in terms of, just profits produced as a community. But then there's amazing people like you, Jasmine, that you basically have the course, and we don't necessarily hear about, the people that just have the course and run with it. And so it gives me tremendous joy, tremendous fulfillment, to really see, an everyday woman with 3 children, with, what I mean, that is the primary breadwinner in her family, that is going out there and making it happen. It just it fills my heart beyond any lamb flip out there, no matter what the size, for sure. And because it's it's a human. And now your kids, I don't know if you have any girls, are seeing you out there making it happen, making it rain, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even if it's boys, again, it's going to be an untraditional response if you have any boys, when they're being asked, well, who taught you all this real estate dealing? And it's going to be an unlikely answer. It's going to be like, my mom, when typically it is dad, you know what I mean? But in this case, it's going to be my mom.
Yes. Oh my goodness, Michelle.
That just like makes my hair stand up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta stop, or you're gonna make me cry. But yeah, I mean, I talk to my parents all the time, and they tell me how strong I am. I'm the oldest in my family, so a lot was always expected of me, and so I'm the person that everybody went to. It didn't matter if it was grandmother or mom or sister or niece, or aunt. I'm the one that everyone always came to for advice, and so I feel like there was always a lot of responsibility, a lot to like live up to be a role model and things like that. But yeah, I mean, growing up, my dad was a primary breadwinner, but yeah, in this household, yeah, I definitely am. And it's so funny because I think that my husband gets embarrassed sometimes because he
no, but he's helping you in the business too, because I heard you say we did this, we did that. So he's contributing, right? He's part of the team.
Yes. It's just that, I lead most of it because, anything with the business or anything like that, he always checks with me first, And I'm the one that actually went through the course. He didn't go through the course. So
exactly.
I kind of get to boss him around a little bit.
Exactly. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Now, I know that you mentioned, that the program for you was an answered prayer. So that to me tells me right there that you are a person that is very in touch, with your faith, that you are a person that moves forward in faith. Can you tell us a little bit about the role that faith has in your life, in applying yourself to anything new, like it was right now, with the LPG, and how do you cultivate that on a daily basis, Jasmine?
Yeah, of course. So on a daily basis, I believe that, balance and regulating your life like daily is like critically important. I couldn't tell you how many people that I see that are my age that have certain illnesses or sicknesses or something due to stress or money issues, things like that. So yes, I'm a Christian, and I try to display my faith every day, just in the way I treat people. Every morning when I wake up, I try to have some soft music, some encouraging quotes, even scriptures to start out my day. I'll say prayers, and I give all the glory to God because He's given me the ability to use my intellect, to use my hands, to use my mind, to help others. I know this is a business, but these landowners, some of this was answered prayers for them also, because they didn't realize that, they could, sell their land for such good profits and things. And so, it was great for them and great for me also. But yeah, spirituality
It's
is very,
creating win-wins for everyone, absolutely, and being
definitely.
of service in the process to them as you create a win. Totally, that is like the core of my leadership style is servant leadership, and I can totally resonate with what you're saying. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. So, yeah, spirituality, I think that that's an important part. That should be an important part of anybody's life, because you need to be in touch with your mind and your emotions and in your will, like, living in the present, what do I want to accomplish today? What are my goals? What am I focusing on? And then, of course, like your values, family, justice, just, trying to contribute your skills on a daily basis. I mean, I have to do that in the classroom. I have to do that, being a mom and, having my family and things. And so, yeah, spirituality is very important. And I think that it should be a focus daily, for health and just for clarity on,
Absolutely.
who you are, what you want to accomplish, how you want to contribute.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. Now, are you continuing to teach? Do you
So
still teach?
I still am a public school teacher, and it's so
That is
funny,
okay.
Michelle.
I mean, you must be deriving fulfillment,
Oh
it's not,
yeah,
this is
yeah, of
something that is
course.
complementary to what you're doing. Yeah. Tell us about that.
Yes. It's so funny because going to the private university up in Alaska, it was pretty expensive. It's so funny because, like, as a teacher you get student loan forgiveness. But because I'm so successful in the business, I'm sure that I can retire, when whenever I'm, deciding, it's the right time. But no, I mean, I love, my teaching career. And then, I love, just
Isn't
staying
it
busy.
amazing, Jasmine, to know that you have a choice, that you have
Oh
that
my
freedom
goodness,
to have that choice?
girl, you're preaching it. Yes. You are, yeah, because yeah, many people don't have that choice. So I'm phenomenally blessed, and however I can help and give back, I'm glad I'm sharing my story through you with people, and
Thank
you and
you.
your husband are excellent. So I'm glad that I found you all. But yeah, I mean, yeah, having that choice, to decide, do I want to work or do I want to work for myself? And it's freedom beyond belief. It's freedom beyond belief to have that choice.
Yeah, to have that choice. Now, what do you think are some of the biggest challenges? Because yes, it's great. Yes, there's money, but what are some of the biggest challenges that you have encountered, whether in the land business or in general, in your life, and how have you overcome those?
Yeah, so my husband's very supportive, and he does a lot with the kids. Sometimes I feel like it's a little bit too much, because there's sports and parties and just so much, and then we go to church a couple of times a week, so it's a lot. So I definitely have to take a step back sometime and make sure I balance it all.
Yeah,
But just take it, one step at a time. My little pocket calendars and desk calendars, those are lifesavers, because I really have to write down what's going on or something's going to be missed. And so, and I try not to fill my day where I'm going to, feel super overwhelmed. So, as a public school teacher, I get a choice, whether I want to do full time or part time. And, so I have to figure out, I mean, the business, I get a feel for how busy it's going to be depending on how much marketing I do. And so I know I put, like, we do have our signs, but we also utilize social media, or
yeah,
maybe give a percentage to, like, a broker or a real estate agent.
yeah.
So there are many different strategies and methods that we use for the real estate investing business. But my calendar is my best friend. And, I just make sure I don't fill my day to the point where, like, I'm
You're
super
in overwhelm. Yeah,
that would
absolutely.
be
Yeah.
family
and
also.
and you're right about balancing the calendar, but also having and making sure that there's stuff on the calendar, because I always say, I can predict the future. I have a crystal ball. Show me your calendar and I can tell you, the results that you're going to produce, not just in dollar amounts, but the results in your ability to have a relationship, parenting relationship with your kids. If nothing is in your calendar where you're actually, booking specific time, for activities with them, then guess what? That relationship in that category of your life, the parenting is not going to look as great. You know what I mean? So I always say, that is the crystal ball is your calendar for everything, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to stay organized. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, so what excites you right now about 2021? Where are we headed with this land business? What's going to happen?
Sure, yeah. So right now we are focusing on land. We are thinking about getting into maybe some single family or multifamily, so like other parts of real estate. So it's been an exciting and busy 2021. Because of COVID, we're all quarantined. So I do everything from home. But I love every moment of it. We get outside and play and enjoy ourselves. But yes, we are quarantined. And thank goodness none of us has gotten COVID. I hope that you've been healthy and safe also.
Yeah, we have been healthy here. My mother did test positive, but she had very minor symptoms. So we are very, very blessed as well. Absolutely. So now if somebody is listening to this right now and is thinking, does this land thing really work? Does this land thing, should I do this? And what would you say to anyone out there that is like entertaining this and thinking, well, I heard about these things, I know that everything that you do with a house can be done with a piece of land. And what would you say, especially now that you're using even the cash profits from the land and you're basically reallocating that, that cash profits into other asset classes such as single family and multifamily, what would you say to someone?
So I would say that I'm living proof of it. And you all have an excellent podcast. This podcast that we're on, and then the other podcast that you also have, I think it's what is it?
Forever Cash and Inflow. Yeah.
Forever Cash. Okay, yeah. So there are so many testimonials, and even like on YouTube, you guys do really good with you all's events and the students describing their experiences and things. And so just listen to the podcast and look at those testimonials, and you'll see that yes, this is true, it works, it's legal, and it's really fun. And it's funny because you'll meet people out in the community, and they'll see the good that you're doing and the people that you've worked with, and they'll start asking questions, and they admire you, and so I'm living proof. It's definitely changed my life. And so if you're thinking about getting into land investing, yes, Jack and Michelle are the way to go. And our family is just so grateful and blessed. And, we're just happy to contribute and to have this successful business. So
thank you so much, Jasmine. That is fantastic. I'm excited. Like I said, I'm excited that it's a gateway asset class also for you guys. I don't know if all of your sales were cash sales, or did you do any seller financing as well?
So actually, to be perfectly honest, they were all cash.
Okay.
So
yeah. So this is hard cold cash, $400K in your bank account. That is fantastic on 33 deals. Now, any piece of advice that you would like to, if somebody's listening in terms of, a woman, if this is a lady that is listening to a podcast, it doesn't have to be land related or real estate specifically related. What would be 3 things that you would say, to a young woman that is looking up to you and that is, that you could, provide some value?
Sure.
Advice you would give them?
So 3 things I would say to a female, to a young lady or older woman. I would just say that, first, you need to believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You need to seize opportunities. and you need to find true, authentic guidance with integrity. You and your husband definitely have integrity. You all uphold morals and ethics. So those are the three things I would say. Believe in yourself, seize
Yeah.
opportunities, and then
Seek the right
find.
guidance, and whatever it is, whether it be real estate or anything, this exactly, I always look at mentors and I'm like, well, are they talking, are they walking the talk? Have they accomplished what I want to accomplish so that I can model, the best? And it does, and it's not just real estate, per se. Many years ago, I was looking into a yoga program because I wanted to become a teach, do a teacher training program for yoga. And I'm like, well, who's the best here in town? You know what I mean? Who is walking the talk? Who is actually where yoga has been, something that he has used or she has used personally to change her life and then change the life of others, and so on and so forth. So I totally get it. I honor that. So thank you so much, Jasmine. So with that, I just wanted to thank you and really say that I am ecstatic. I'm excited for what's about to come right now for you and your hubby and the kiddos in 2021. I know that you guys are looking to continue focusing on land and now start, investing or, bringing some of those profits into single family homes and multifamily. And that is amazing. And I don't know the ages of your kids, but that's amazing for them to see you guys, being able to start with something that perhaps seems small, having faith in the small, in a piece of land and flipping it, and then moving on to, a more sophistication or more complexity, which is like I like to call it, because now all of a sudden with a house, if you are going to become a landlord, you're going to have some, tenants and termite issues. But hey, there's also incredible amounts of joy knowing that you're able to provide a home for someone, whether
Definitely.
it be in the single family or the multifamily space. So like you said earlier, as long as you're creating win-wins and you are serving, whoever your client is, whether, it's a seller of a piece of vacant land, or somebody that is, that you're buying a house from and then renting it or renovating it or flipping it over to another investor. It's creating win-wins and always having that servant heart, knowing that on the other end, this is not just a transaction, there's a human behind.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
People want to do business with you, you do.
Yeah,
it's like
I mean,
you magnetize people that want to do business with you as a result of that. And it makes you untouchable, really.
Yeah, helping them reach their goals, and then you're happy to be there and to contribute your services. So
yeah. Well, thank you so much, Jasmine. It was such an honor to connect with you and have a chance to tell your story, and for me to spread the message about what you're doing, and being a role model for other ladies, making it happen out there. And that our moms, just like you, we're all, whether you're a mom or dad, with full lives, and we still make it happen. And I respect that. And I'm super excited that you were able to share your story with me today.
Oh, I'm honored as well. And, like I said, I mean, you and Jack, you all are changing lives. So you definitely changed ours. So I can't thank you enough. I couldn't be more grateful. I love the community that you all have on Facebook and on social media.
Yeah. And for everyone listening right now, if you want to join our Facebook group, like you said, it's Land Profit Generator Real Estate Investing Group. And yeah, we try to be there every day. Sometimes I go in there, and by the time I go in there, other amazing humans have already answered a ton of questions. And sometimes, if I see, okay, this question was missed, let me go ahead and answer. We try to be there, every single day, helping everyone succeed, and help you engineer that next level of growth, whatever it may be for you. So yeah. So if you are wanting to connect with Jasmine, she's in the group too.
Oh, yes, I'm there. It's a very active group, but yes, you all are doing so many wonderful things with the Land Profit Generator. But And also, thank you for your courage for, doing something new also, because, I know that you all got into real estate, and I know that I think that you all probably talk about that on your podcast. So believe me, the feelings are mutual and they're reciprocated. So thank you for being answered prayer, and thank you for being that life-changing opportunity. So.
My pleasure. It is my pleasure, Jasmine. Thank you.
I hope this episode left you feeling inspired and ready to get inflows of cash, inflows of light, and inflows of faith in your life. I welcome your reviews on iTunes. Please leave me a review and help me create an amazing community of women in flow. Thank you, as always, for sharing your voice by going to michellebosch.com and joining the conversation about this show. And while you're there, grab a copy of my 10 Commandments to Living a Life in Flow. You can also follow me on Facebook at Michelle Bosch and on Instagram at Michelle Bosch Official. Thank you very much, and until the next one.